threesome. Okay. Hello, thank you for taking time to hear about what our team has discovered about CyclePath. Today we'll focus on how CyclePath can increase overall profitability by prioritizing its most valuable segments. To begin, let me introduce the team. I'm Addie, Sinjin will go over the data, Madeline will go over our recommendations, and then Meg and Stephanie will be going over some key analysis. So let's look further into the data.
Thank you, Addie. So, we were given a large data set of around 58,000 sales records, and along with many different subsets of data. In the data set, we were given around 26 different variables, including information on sales, product information, reseller information, and information on the people doing the heavy work, the salespeople of CyclePath. But a lot of these variables were categorical variables, meaning that they were text rather than values. And so we transformed many of the categorical variables into what are called dummy variables, essentially just zeros and ones. And after the transformation process, we were left with around 55 total variables to conduct our analyses on. And these dummy variables included information on seasonal data, product categories, and product colors. And with this new data set, we were able to run several different types of tests, including a correlation matrix, which evaluates the relationship between multiple different variables. And then we also constructed around 30 different multiple regression models, predicting things like price, cost, and gross profit. Lastly, with a lot of those categorical variables, we were also able to use pivot analysis to evaluate trends over things like multiple quarters and different product categories. And so, based on these analyses, we formed two primary recommendations that will reestablish CyclePath Manufacturing as a key manufacturer within the industry. And with that, here's Madeline to talk more about our proposed plan.
Firstly, we recommend focusing on acquiring more component resellers and producing more bike components like frames, wheels, and brackets, rather than prioritizing selling complete bikes. Overall, components earn the most gross profit compared to other products like clothing, accessories, and bikes. In recent years, producing complete bikes has costed more than it's earned by selling them often resulting in a loss, while producing bike components historically has always earned a positive profit and is the largest source of profit from sales. By shifting the production focus to bike components, CyclePath can minimize expenses by producing a product that has lower cost of production and contributes significantly to the company's earnings. Next, we recommend prioritizing mountain bike production compared to road bikes and touring bikes. When examining the earnings for each type of bike, we can see that road bikes and touring bikes consistently have negative gross profit margins. Every model of touring bike being sold costs more to produce than is earned through sales, and while some models of road bike are earning profit, the loss of profit that is incurred by selling the other models is much greater than what is earned from the road bikes that are generating profit. Mountain bike sales generate the most profit out of everything sold at CyclePath, but because of the loss generated by selling road bikes and touring bikes, the overall profit earned from selling bikes is often negative. Shifting focus to selling more mountain bikes will help CyclePath more effectively target consumer preferences and minimize overall loss of profits. And now we will get into these key analyses.
Let's look at our first key analysis. So first we looked at how revenue and gross profit are distributed across product categories. What stand out to us is that bikes makes up about 83% of the total revenue. But when we looked at the gross profit, bikes contribute almost nothing. On the other hand, components, which makes up about 14 to 15% of revenue, they generate much larger share of gross profit. So this shows a clear mismatch the company is more heavily focused on. Even though components are significantly more profitable, they are just focusing on bicycles. This suggests that there may be more opportunity to shift towards components. Then we wanted to see if focusing on components is actually feasible through a reseller network or not. And what we found is that multiple resellers are already generating over 150,000 in component sales. So this isn't just limited to a few resellers. Demand for components is spread across the network. This tells us that components are not only more profitable, but also scalable through existing reseller network. Because of this, we recommend focusing more on component reseller to drive higher overall profitability. Now let's take a look at another analysis.
So looking at the three different types of bikes that CyclePath produces, mountain bikes, touring bikes, and road bikes, we can see that mountain bikes produce a positive profit margin, whereas touring bikes and road bikes generate negative profit, meaning that we're losing money on selling these products. Because these are unprofitable profit lines, we want to eliminate these and focus more of our capital resources on producing mountain bikes in order to help us reach our goal of having more profit. However, what would eliminating these two product lines do to our overall sales? So we can see that mountain bikes have a high standard deviation of 27%, and this indicates a high volatility in the level of sales throughout the year. However, road bikes have the lowest amount of standard deviation, meaning that they're the most stable sales. However, because we are losing such a high margin on these road bikes and touring bikes, the advantage of having more stability is offset by the cost of producing them. Mountain bikes, although volatile, also have the highest range, meaning that we have the highest opportunity for upside growth, allowing us to grow our company more in the future through this product line. Finally, Addie will wrap up with the next steps.
Thank you, Stephanie. In closing, our analysis highlights a clear and actionable path forward for CyclePath. By focusing on the most profitable customer segments, the company has a strong opportunity to improve overall profitability while using its own resources more efficiently. Through our findings, we've seen not all segments contribute equally to performance. By prioritizing the areas that deliver the greatest value, CyclePath can make a more strategic decision around where to invest time, effort, and capital. Our recommendations are designed to build on these insights, helping CyclePath strengthen its competitive position while supporting a more sustainable long-term growth. Ultimately, this approach is not just about increasing profits in the short term, but creating a more focused and effective strategy moving forward. Thank you again for your time and attention, and we'd be happy to answer any questions you may have. 3, 2, 1. Hello! Okay, we're starting. Okay.